back on camera now and ready to set up the battle between Chris Byrd and Oquendo. Larry Merchant, despite his heavyweight title belt, Chris Byrd says that he is a test that none of the other top heavyweights seem to want to try to pass. Why is it that Lennox Lewis, Roy Jones, other bigger names in the heavyweight division don't want to fight Chris Byrd?
Well, he's more like one of those complex mathematical puzzles that can take centuries to solve. Here are the reasons why they won't fight Chris Byrd. First, he's a left-handed defensive star genius. You can't look good against him. It's hard to beat him. Second, because of his style, he doesn't have a big fan base, so you can't make heavyweight money for fighting him. He's only getting $1.25 million tonight. Still a lot of money, but featherweights today make more money than that. And finally, to make a match with Byrd, you have to give up your future to his promoter, Don King, and stars like Lewis and Jones and Holyfield and Tyson and the Klitschkos don't want to do that. So he winds up fighting a fighter in Oquendo who has no choice but sees a real opportunity.
Despite the fact that there's a ton of competitive risk in fighting Chris Byrd, because, George Foreman, by his own admission, he's kind of the Pernell Whitaker of the heavyweights. A defensive wizard is the word that I would use. Will the public ever embrace a defensive genius heavyweight champion?
You know what? You just got to be a hero. If you're going to have all that defense, you got to have, if you can't do it inside of the ring, do like Ali. He did it outside of the ring, became a hero. And if you can't do them, like Willie Pep, make them miss and make it so beautiful that the crowd and the fans will come in to see you. And he hasn't done that so far. I don't think he will.
All right. Let's look at the tail of the tape now as we get ready for Chris Byrd against Oquendo. We are not up in the super heavyweight division with the big guys like Lewis and Klitschko. This is the moderate heavyweight division, the old style one. Byrd, at age 33, is 3 years older than Oquendo, but largely untouched because of his style. 6 feet 1.5 inches to Oquendo's 6 feet 2. Arm length, Oquendo with a 1.5 inch advantage in that measurement from the armpit to the end of the fist. Chris Byrd thought he might weigh in at under 210. As it was 211 3/4. Oquendo at 224 says this is the first time he'll be fighting a heavyweight who's smaller than himself. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Chris Byrd Oquendo fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right. Thank you very much, Harold. And now here comes Oquendo. Boxer puncher type. Only 1 loss on his record. He'd be unbeaten if he could have held on to the lead that he built over David Tua before Tua knocked him out.
Oquendo tells us he was a quarterback and center fielder in high school in Chicago. So he has athletic ability as well as fighting ability. And that he says that Byrd is the smallest heavyweight he's ever fought, and he intends to fight him the way the big guys fought him, meaning both Klitschkos, Vitaly and Vladimir, who between them might have won 17 out of the 21 rounds they fought with Byrd.
Oquendo, a technician by identity. Maybe that gives him a better chance against Byrd than some of the sluggers might have. Of course, in addition to all of his other nettlesome characteristics, Byrd is a southpaw as well. Went to the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona as a middleweight. When he came out of Barcelona, he said to himself, you know what? Middleweights don't make enough money. I think I'll go up to the heavyweight division and try to get rich.
I don't think he thought that after watching a couple of junior middleweights make some money last week. But Byrd is one of the big, serious fight fans among fighters. He'll travel all over, but he stayed home in Las Vegas because he was coming to Connecticut the next day. We asked him how he scored the fight. He had Mosley ahead 6-5-1. Oquendo thought the fight was a draw.
Incidentally, the biggest upset of last weekend was that Chris Byrd wasn't at the fight. Normally, he's the #1 vagabond boxing fan in the country, probably going to as many fights as any fan alive. And now let's go up to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the beautiful Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino here in Uncasville, Connecticut. We are ready for a featured bout of the evening brought to you by Don King Productions in association with Fight Night and CM Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's fight is being dedicated to the courageous men and women of the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, known as the Screaming Eagles. Your bravery, courage, and service is not forgotten. And a special thanks and recognition to Staff Sergeant Frank Eldridge, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Frick, and Commanding General David H. Petrius. Well, fans, this bout coming away is sanctioned by the IBF President Myriad Muhammad, Supervisor Lindsey Tucker, along with the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulation, Jerry Boyle, manager. Now introducing our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Oneida Castle, New York, Don Ackerman. From Cromwell, Connecticut, Steve Epstein. And from Waterbury, Connecticut, John Duke Lawson. And our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge of the action, we have Eddie Cotton. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with red and white trim, hailing from San Juan, Puerto Rico. He weighed in at 224 pounds with a record of 24 wins and 1 loss. He has 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked the IBF #2 heavyweight contender in the world. Please welcome the challenger. Introducing Fast Frez Oquendo. And his opponent across the ring on my left, the defending world champion, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing blue trunks with silver trim, fighting out of and representing Flint, Michigan. He weighed in at a ready 211 3/4 pounds. His record stands at 36 wins, 2 losses, 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2-time world champion and the current IBF heavyweight champion of the world, introducing Chris Byrd. And once again, our referee in charge, Eddie Cotton, now to give instructions, 12 rounds of championship boxing schedule.
All right, both boxers, you received my instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands, protect yourself at all times. All right, let's touch gloves. I expect a good, clean fight.
Last week's fight could hardly live up to its impossibly high expectations. This fight won't have any trouble living up to its lower expectations.
In terms of entertainment, right?
In terms of action and entertainment, exactly. 2 boxers, both claim they're going to box.
Both fighters have been accused of a questionable tactic, not the same tactic. In Oquendo's case, Opponents claim that he gets away with hitting behind the head, particularly hitting fighters on the back of the head with the cuff of his glove. We'll see if that arises during the course of the fight tonight. With Chris Byrd, it's about slapping, hitting people with open gloves. And during the Evander Holyfield fight in December, you yourself, George, said that you thought maybe he shouldn't get credit for some of the punches he is credited with because he slaps.
Yeah, he's an open hand. He's on the wrong side, first of all. And when you're on the wrong side like that, your hand's always in the wrong position when you deliver a shot. Almost backhanding and slapping. Now, Oquendo's got to understand he's the contender here, and if he want to win this thing, he's got to make the other guy back up something. If you can't do anything else, make your opponent back up.
Chris Byrd seemingly confounding Oquendo here, attacking a little bit in the first minute. Byrd, who normally goes backward and counters,